Finally! Ha ha! Nailed it.
That's my line.
So, as you've seen from the title, I'm quite late at this. Actually, let me check. What was the release date for the film? Wicked release date. It came out on the 22nd of November, and I'm watching it like a month late. So it hasn't come on streaming platforms yet. It's gonna come on December 31st, it's saying. Okay. So, what a film. So I went to the cinema today to watch Wicked with my with the fam, my mom and my sister. It's kind of funny, but yeah, we were laughing the whole way through. No, it was actually quite good actually. I went there thinking it was gonna be like another pop musical, but then I remember the whole boom, that whole that's my line. Boom. Yeah, no, that was it was a great film. It was. I'm not gonna spoil anything for the beginning of this video, because a lot of people probably haven't seen it. But no, I'll just say this. It felt very reminiscent of a film that I watched earlier this year, Transformers 1, which I also watched in the cinema. And because of that whole kind of friendship, very close friends, and it's very distant enemies, which are also very close, because obviously in the future, like in the Wizard of Oz, Glinda and what's her name? Alphaba. Sorry, I keep calling her Wicked Witch of the West, but she's not the Wicked Witch yet. That's going to come in part 2 of Wicked. As you know, in the beginning of the film it says Wicked Part 1. If you haven't watched it, then sorry, but it is the first part, it says. Might I say, the posters for this film were spectacular. The marketing was great with the whole Target advert. Was it Target or Walmart? I forgot. It was one of those where with Cynthia singing the song "It's Me" from the end of the film. Oh god, I'm spoiling it, aren't I? But yeah, it was very reminiscent of Revenge of the Sith, because she just felt very sad. Like, you felt for the characters, you had strong connections with them. They did it very well. It didn't feel forced, it didn't feel unnatural, it felt very fluid. The film was brilliant, actually. It was one of my top films this year. Definitely one of the best films 2024. It was funny, it was relatable, it was the music, I'm telling you, every single song hit. Every single song. Musicals normally get me annoyed. I'm thinking, move on with the plot. Why are you singing every single phrase now? Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I get annoyed with musicals. With this one, I was more like, okay, and I was actually nodding my head in the cinema. And at the end of the film, I actually got up and I clapped. Nobody, I swear to God, wallahi, nobody else clapped. I just got up from my seat and started clapping like this. Everyone was like, okay, wasn't that great? But I was thinking, bloody hell, that was a masterpiece. I swear, it was very emotional. I felt like, oh, that is so sad. It is so upsetting. The relationship between Ariana Grande and Cynthia's character, obviously Glinda and Alphaba, their characters being so loosely connected in a way, because they became friends like very slowly, and the relationship built up, and in the final act it was so strong. It felt so kind of, it felt so relatable, and it kind of felt quirky in a good way. Like it felt like like you felt like, oh, that's how like I felt in the middle of the film. I felt like Glinda, or Galinda, she says it's Galinda until the end when she changes it to Glinda. She's very like, she reminds you of a very annoying person, like who doesn't stop talking. Like that's what made me think of. It made me think of one of my friends who just doesn't shut up, and it was very very fluid. Like I said, the story didn't feel to drag in any way. It was a long film, just a bit too long. I would have liked if just one of the musical bits was just shortened by maybe like just a few minutes, because there was one bit in there where it kind of went on, and I was like, okay, it's gonna stop now, but then it was just like, oh, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, there you go. You know, just calm yourself. But other than that, it was surprisingly, like, obviously when I got home, I was informed that it was originally a play, and it was originally like a Broadway show, Wicked, and then it got adapted into a film. I think the first one came out in 2003, and it slowly adapted into a film, which is interesting, because the story definitely doesn't feel like something you'd watch on a Broadway show. It definitely feels like something you'd watch on a movie screen, because how vivid it is. I don't think actors on a stage that don't have multiple attempts when they're on the stage can really get that emotion. But I haven't watched any of the recorded shows, so I can't really speak for them. But from my perspective, I think it's a very cinematic film. The shots are beautiful. The music is wonderful. It's inclusive with the audience. It's engaging. It's so, like I said, it's so fluid. It's so soft. It's not rough in any way. Like I said, it doesn't feel forced. It feels very natural, and it feels so fulfilling in a way. To see these characters adapt and learn throughout the story, and you kind of go on that ship with them and sail the same sea as them. It just feels so magical. Like the film is meant to feel magical, and it succeeds in that magical feeling every single way. So, now we're gonna go into spoiler part. I did a lot of the non-spoilers, so now we're gonna go into spoilers. There'll be 2 different chapters, so this is now gonna be the second one now. So we're gonna go into 3, 2, 1 now. So spoiler now. I want to say at the end, it was very good, because I was intimidated by the runtime, but it was all made up in the end with the ending, defying gravity, and then the oh, it's me. That was so good. Like the end, the fact that the end note was what I was waiting for the entire film. So I just voice voice crack. It just felt very like I said, it felt very fulfilling, and I felt I felt genuinely like my stomach was full at the end of the film, probably because I ate a whole bucket of popcorn, but also because the film was so massive. You know what else is massive? Load tape. Oh, for God's sake, what? I cringe myself. Anyway, so the film, like I said before, the relationship between them two, the fact that the hat was so prominent. I realized the hat was going to be something so prominent in the film. I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, here you go, is a hat, you know. I didn't realize it was gonna be like the whole thing and reason why Glinda decided to be friends with her. Like that whole scene, it felt so, like I said, it felt so cinematic, and so like the videography was so on point and on par with the mood of the film, and in that particular scene, the mood, because you see that Alphaba, everyone was making fun of her, and then once Glinda, you know, came on, everyone was like, okay, so she is kind of cool, and then everyone accepted Alphaba because they saw the good side of her instead of just seeing the bad side of her, because she saw that she could be relatable in some way, and I felt that was very powerful. You know, obviously the end of the film, where obviously she was framed for the monkeys, and that scene made me feel very sad, because I thought, you know, she had adapted and she had built herself up until the wizard had obviously manipulated her himself, and that was just very upsetting to see. But it was also very satisfying to see, because you got to see this very seamless transition into the Wicked Witch, into this powerful being that shines or kind of dims upon or below it, and that was the Wicked Witch. And obviously in all of the Wizard of Oz, she's always a shadow, and you never see her face, you only see her long nose. So being able to see her emotion and how the actress Cynthia was able to, you know, really bring that to the big screen, with the whole sad childhood and kind of growing out of that, with her father hating her because of what she did to her mother, what her birth did to her mother, and how it affected her sister Nessa. It was so like I said, vivid, and it felt so powerful and magical. So yeah, so that's it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. So the ending review is going to be a solid 8.9 out of 10, which is very good. So 8.9 out of 10 for Wicked, and the only bad side to this film was the runtime. Other than that, it was perfectly fine as it was. So yeah, 8.9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace!